My name is Kelli Neuman. I'm the Director of Business and Industry Partnerships at iCEV. So really, I just lead our industry certification efforts. And I'd like to introduce my right-hand woman or have her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly Cantrell, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Specialist here at iCEV. And we're glad you're joining us to learn more about the certifications that we host.
We're glad you've joined us today. We appreciate that you're making time for this and that you're interested in ensuring that your students are career ready. So without further ado, I have a little announcement that I want to make before we jump into the certification testing platform bit. We want to make sure that you're all aware that this session is being offered on multiple days and times to accommodate everyone's schedules. Because these are repeat sessions, your attendance to this session will only count once towards your professional development certificate. iCEV will be providing digital certificates affirming the number of hours completed during the seminar. However, professional development credit is subject to your administration's approval. Your certificate will be arriving in your inbox within 10 business days of the seminar. So at the end of this session, we'll provide a link for you in the chat to complete a form to receive credit for this session. So please don't just add your name to the chat to let us know you're here. You'll need to fill out that form so we can tally all of your collective hours. This form is the only way we'll be keeping track of which sessions you attend. So it's really important that you complete that form after every session. All participants are muted right now. We will be utilizing that chat box like I added, hopefully you saw, for Q&A. So throughout this, I hope that you are adding questions. Whenever Kimberly is speaking, I'll try to take care of any questions that are being added to that chat or vice versa. And then any that we haven't covered at the end, we'll make some time to go through all of those questions. So please be typing your questions in there throughout, and we'll do our best to get to them. So let's get started. A lot of you probably know iCEV for the curriculum that we offer, the CTE curriculum that we've been offering for 35 years. We love to try to bring the industry expert to the classroom and offer really high quality curriculum. So maybe it's a little odd that we're suddenly talking about industry certifications, but we've actually been hosting industry certifications and serving as a testing platform for almost 10 years now. All of those industry experts who we capture on film to be that industry expert for various pieces of curriculum started coming to us after ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, started using industry certifications as a career readiness measure, and after Perkins 5 reauthorization, and whenever things beyond just college readiness started getting measured for CTE students. And they asked us if we would serve as an educational partner for them as they created industry certifications or as they looked for a way to host their industry certifications in such a way that it could be made available to students as well. So kind of was an accident. Never fully meant to really become an industry certification testing platform, but have really enjoyed the opportunity to host various businesses and organizations industry certifications. So Kimberly has pulled up our company landing page for you to kind of visually show you the two different parts of iCEV, both the curriculum side and the industry certification testing side of the business. So you'll see on that top toolbar of our iCEV homepage, there's a curriculum tab and there's an industry certification tab. So we're going to be on the industry cert tab, and we're actually going to click for education today, since I'm assuming most of you are teachers. There's also a tab for the workplace, because all of these industry certifications are used by folks in the industry. They're used by businesses as training. They're also used by just individuals who are looking to distinguish their resume, give themselves a cutting edge. So you'll see those two different tabs as well, but today we'll be on that education tab. So if you're following along with us, Kim, I'll have you scroll down and show them the various certifications that are hosted on our platform. You'll see that they come from all different kinds of CTE areas, ag, business, soft skills, you name it. There's something applicable to all areas. iCEV does not is not the certifying agency for any of these certifications. These are not iCEV certifications. We're not qualified to certify anyone in anything. I guess if we were going to be qualified to certify someone in something, it might be creating CT curriculum or something, which obviously we're not creating a certification for that. So please know our role is to serve as an educational partner for these folks. Our role is to create optional preparation materials to ensure student success on these certification exams. I'll tell you kind of some of the different roles that we play for these certifying agencies, but these very much are their certifications that we host on our platform. We provide secure testing technology for these folks. We regulate their testing environment. We work with secondary and post-secondary academic institutions, folks like y'all. We work with workforce development departments, random individuals who might be interested in getting certified, anyone who's looking for certification options for career advancement. We also provide verification to employers for anyone who might be applying for a job, and that employer just wants to verify that they indeed did receive an industry certification that's listed on their resume. We provide that verification. And most significantly, we offer optional preparation materials. So we offer optional curriculum that teachers like you can use to ensure that your students or any individual who's taking this certification exam will experience success on it. So by doing this, by sort of being an educational partner for these certifying agencies, we're giving them a chance to create a pipeline of future employees for their industry while still being able to focus on the core of their business, since Southwest Airlines is concerned with getting people from A to B. American Meat Science Society is ensuring we have high quality protein on our plate. Maybe education isn't their thing, so we can fill that need for them while they can focus on the core of their business. So that's a bit about our platform and the role we play. I'm always looking, to add new certifications as businesses and organizations approach us. So this list typically is growing. Kimberly, let's zoom in on one example. So let's use Southwest Airlines Professional Communication Certification as our example today. That certification is applicable to all areas, which is why I'm choosing that one as an example. That certification has nothing to do with aviation. Southwest Airlines is consistently looked at as an example in professional communications because of their expertise in customer service. I went to business school for my master's, and I read so many case studies on Southwest and Chick-fil-A. Their customer service techniques really relate to professional communication skills well. You might have even heard of the Southwest Airlines way of communicating. And because of that, they chose to step forward as an industry leader in soft skills or 21st century skills, whatever you want to call them, and create this certification. At the top of that landing page, that's off of our homepage. So we're obviously on iCEVs. We're not on Southwest Airlines page about the certification, is a promotional video in which your students could hear directly from Southwest Airlines as to why they created this certification. And a lot of the promo videos on these landing pages, we also try to include various employers who've shared with us why they love to hire individuals who have this certification. So something that's great to share with your students before they ever start the prep process, getting ready for that certification exam. Kim, if you'll keep scrolling, I'd love to go down to the industry standards. All of the certification exams are based off of the industry standards that the certifying agency, so in this instance, Southwest Airlines, set. So industry standards are what the certifying agency has said, these are the knowledge and skills that an entry-level employee needs to be proficient in for them to earn this certification. So they need to have demonstrated proficient knowledge and skills in these various techniques for it to really be worth them having this certification, for them to be a really valuable add. Then what happens is we work with that certifying agency to say, okay, what do test questions to ensure that they have those knowledge and skills look like? And what does curriculum look like that could prepare them for success on those test questions? And then we figure out the different activities or assignments that we also add to iCEV to make your life as a teacher easier. And Kimberly's going to go into the technicals of that in just a moment. She'll log into both a teacher and a student account and show you from both perspectives. So there you can see the industry standards. And again, the preparatory materials that we offer, the curriculum we offer is optional, because if you're the best professional communications teacher in the whole world, we understand that you might already have some really great lessons and you might only want to use part of iCEVs, or you might have a full way to prepare for your students for success on that exam already without using iCEV. So if that's the case, feel free to just skip straight to that certification exam. You can buy just vouchers. It will be much more difficult since the prep content is directly created, for students to experience success on that exam, but it is an option. If you scroll down to that optional preparation material segment that Kim has on the page and you click learn more, not only will you see a sample of what the curriculum looks like that students are going to use if they're using iCEV to get ready for that exam, but you'll also see a study guide that takes the industry standards more in depth and shows you as a teacher what you would need to cover for your students to be successful on that certification exam. So no matter how you're preparing your students, whether you're already implementing certifications or this is your first time today, I hope you're able to see how easy it is to implement industry certifications into what you're probably already doing. For some of you, it might look like adding just a few lessons, especially if you're already using iCEV. And I love that industry certifications give students tangible proof of what they learned in a class. So they get to move beyond listing on their resume that they took a professional communications class to listing more, I have an industry certification from an organization known for professional communications. I think it just makes a huge difference for students to have proof of what they learned in their class. So I'll let Kim take it away to show you how easy it is to integrate into what you're already doing.
Thanks, Kelly. So like Kelly said, our goal here at iCEV is to make your job as an educator easier. Many iCEV employees are former educators, and several of us who ourselves were not educators come from families of educators. So we know how hard your job is. It was hard before the 2020 school year, and it seems to have gotten harder. And so we are here to make your job easier. And so hopefully today I can show you how easy it is to integrate the industry certifications hosted on the iCEV platform into your CTE programs. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see a teacher account. And here on the right-hand side, you will see a student account. As I walk through today, I just want you to keep that in mind, that left is the teacher and right side is the student view. So here on the left-hand side, you see that I have my teacher account set up similar to how your my courses list might look. I have each course named for a specific period. And so let's say that I want to add a new course or a new certification. So I'll click the add new /course/certification button. It'll take me to this page with all of our courses. Then I can select the subject area that best relates to me. For this example, I'm going to use business. Now here it comes up to our course playlist, but I want a certification. So I'm going to go over here to certification playlist, and I can select any of the certifications that relate to my course. Now you'll see if I switch subject areas, let's say I go to health science, then the certifications related to that subject area will appear. Going back to business, let's say that I want to select the Center for Financial Responsibility Personal Financial Literacy certification. So I'll simply click that certification, and then I will name it whatever I want up in the course title box. So you can name it to be associated with a class period. like I had on my courses page, or something that I often do is I just copy and paste the certification name into the course title box. Once you've named it however you like, you can press add course and it'll be added to your new course list. You can repeat that process as many times as you need, and once you're done, you'll just click finished. So now you'll see that the certification has been added to the bottom of my course playlist, and I can move it wherever I want to fit whatever type of organizational structure I have. Now, let's dive in and actually look at one of the certifications. So following Kelly's example, we'll keep with the Southwest Airlines Professional Communication Certification. So when I click view, I'll see a list of all the lessons associated with this playlist. Now, here we see a required for cert box. This means that I can check or uncheck these lessons. Now, these lessons are a reflection of the industry standards that Kelly mentioned earlier. Southwest Airlines, Ducks Unlimited, Elanco, BASF, all of the certifying agencies set these industry standards. And then we as iCEV develop these preparation materials to be a reflection of those industry standards to prepare someone for the certification exam. But we know that each CTE program, each CTE class is different. And so we want to give you the option to customize these lesson materials to best fit your program. So let's say, for example, you're teaching professional communications and you already have a lot of materials about communication styles. Well, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So you can simply uncheck that box. That means your students will not be required to go through that particular lesson in order to unlock the certification exam. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they won't be tested over it. They'll still be tested over those competencies, but they will not be required to go through the iCEV lesson. So once you have customized your lesson to your lesson playlist to fit your specific needs, then it'll be time to invite your students. So you'll go to the Invite Students button. And this process is the same as if you were inviting a student to any other iCEV course. Now, there's two ways to do this. You can have a student who has not created an iCEV account to go to this link here, which will take them to the registration page. They'll enter the registration code, along with their first and last name and email address, and setting a username, password, and a password protection question. But I have already created an iCEV account. So instead, I'm going to simply copy and paste this registration code and go over here to add new course/certification. Now paste the code and click submit. Oh, okay. It seems that I've already registered for that. No problem. Sorry, guys, after doing 3 of these sessions so far, sometimes things get a little crossed. So let's do it again with the career preparedness certification offered by Express Employment Professionals. So I'll simply again click add new course/certification. I'll paste it into there and click submit. And it appears that I have done this too many times. So while I work on that, I want to bring a few more things to you guys' attention. So first of all, here on my courses page, you'll see that I have certifications, courses with certifications, and courses without certifications. The certification courses are distinguished by the certification icon here. Now you'll see that, for example, I have professional communications with certification and professional communications without a certification. This is a good example of courses that are aligned, but not necessarily identical. So this professional communications course that is offered by iCEV is very similar to the preparation materials designed for the Southwest Airlines Professional Communication Certification. In fact, there's only one lesson included in the prep content for the Southwest Airlines certification that is not included in the iCEV Professional Communications course. Simply, if you were to teach the iCEV Professional Communications class, you just need one more lesson to get your students ready for that certification exam. So if you're already teaching a course that has a comparable certification, there's really maybe only 1 or 2 courses that you would need to include to get your students ready for that certification exam, which, like Kelly said, gives them tangible proof of being in your course rather than just saying, well, I took this class. So let's take a look at the individual lessons. For example, I'm going to come down here to the conflict management lesson. I'll simply click view to look at the lesson, and I'll see the focal point of this lesson is a video. Each iCEV lesson has a multimedia presentation as the feature. In this case, it is a video. In other cases, it may be a PowerPoint. iCEV offers instructional and interactive materials. They're both similar and identical in content. However, they're delivered via different mediums. So the instructional materials are printable materials. These are what you would use for students that don't have an iCEV student license. But if you're planning to use a certification in your course, you need student licenses. So you would go with the interactive materials. These interactive materials include, vocabulary handouts, worksheets, as well as assessments. And I want to draw your attention specifically to this Green Star assessment. There is a Green Star assessment associated with all of the lessons included in the certification playlist. In order for a student to unlock the certification exam, they need to make a 70% on this Green Star assessment. They can attempt that assessment as many times as they need in order to get that 70%. Once they have made a 70% on all of the Green Star assessments for the required lessons, then their certification exam will be unlocked. Now, let's say you unchecked the lesson. They will not be required to take a Green Star assessment in order to unlock the certification. We also have a review lesson for each certification exam. So this lesson is a PowerPoint that goes through all of the concepts previously addressed in the lessons and also includes the instructional and interactive materials. This is a great piece to use as a final review before the students attempt the certification exam. Down here, you'll see the final Green Star assessment. Now this assessment, instead of 10 questions like the regular lesson assessments, is 25 questions. They also have to get a 70% on this review assessment in order to unlock the certification exam if this review lesson is required. These assessments are a great way to get the students familiar with the testing platform. It gives them a look at the types of questions that are included in the certification exam and helps them get a good feeling for the platform. That way, they don't have quite as much shock as they go through the actual certification exam. The certification exam is 100 questions, pardon me, and approximately takes about an hour to go through the certification exam. Thank you for your patience with me, guys. Today, as we all know, sometimes technology doesn't always work for us, and I have gone through this session many times today. So I think it is rebelling against me. Okay, so no worries. I'm going to go through and we're going to show you guys what it will look like to add a certification proctor to your certification. So your students have gone through all the lessons, they're ready to take the exam. So you'll simply go to that certification playlist and you'll go down here to the proctoring section. Now, all of the certification exams hosted on iCEV must be proctored. Now, we understand that some states, schools, or districts have different proctoring guidelines that may prohibit you as the classroom teacher to act as a proctor. So in that instance, you're going to need to invite someone else to be a proctor. So let's say, for example, you're going to invite your district's testing coordinator to serve as a proctor for your certification exam. You'll simply enter their first and last name and email and click invite. That'll take them to sign up to be a proctor on iCEV. We also have included the guidelines for proctoring a certification exam on iCEV here. Now, if you go down here to proctor the exam, so your students, you've gone through the materials, they're experts, they're ready to go. So down here, you will come to proctor exams, and you'll see that at this time, there are no students attempting the certification exam. However, if you were let's say you were go to live progress, no students have checked in yet. So this will automatically update as students come in and begin to attempt the certification exam. Now, your students have gone through the certification exam. They have mastered it, and so you're ready to see truly how they did. So you click on the Student Certification Reports button on your My Courses page, and that'll take you to this page, which has detailed reports on all of the certifications that you have on your My Courses page. Here, I don't have any data actually because, well, none of my students have earned a certification. And so, but we'll go ahead and walk through and I can show you what these certification reports will look like. So this box, simply the number of certified students. And here we have the number of attempts. Keep in mind, students have to earn a 70% on the certification exam to pass. Here you see the passing percentage as well as the average time. Like I said, we estimate it takes about an hour to go through the certification exam. Of course, that varies based on the individual student. It is important to note the iCEV system will time out after 5 hours. Let's say the student opens up the certification exam, answers half of the questions, and then walks away. It will not save their progress and they will lose their attempt if the system times out after 5 hours. We also here see the average grade as well as errors. So let's say in my previous example that the student system timed out. That would be reflected as an error. Or maybe they lost internet connection. That would also show up as an error. Any type of technical problem that happened during the certification exam. We also have the industry standards report. This breaks down the grades of the students based on industry standards, which gives you as an educator a good look to what you need to go back and review with your students in case they need to attempt the certification exam again. And finally, here we have the certification summary report. Now, any of these reports with an eye icon can be expanded to show individual student views. So if I click on certification summary report, and I want to keep it here on the professional communication certification, but I could also select any number of certifications that I have on my course playlist, and I'll click view report. This will show me the student view of individual students who are attempting an iCEV certification. You see here, we have a number of icons that are represented. And it'll also show you the student's individual progress through any of the required lessons that you have tasked them to go through in order to unlock the certification exam. And finally, you can download their certificate from this page. When a student earns a certification through iCEV, they are mailed a paper certificate. A certificate is mailed to your school. You also have the option to print that certificate on this page. They're the exact same. The only difference is the one mailed to you has a nice, pretty foil seal. Just looks a touch more official. But let's say you need certificates for an award banquet that is happening within the next few days, or maybe the student is getting ready for a job interview and they want to take the certificate with them in their portfolio. You can always print off a copy for them here. Now, I know I've thrown a lot of information at you guys today, so I do encourage you to take some time, work through the iCEV platform, find a certification or two that fits for your program, and look into it. Look at the lessons and see how they can add value to your program and to your students. If you do have any questions about iCEV, if you ever have technical difficulties, I encourage you to use this iCEV coach button. That will connect you with one of our customer support specialists. We have a very talented, very dedicated team who is here to help you with any questions that you may have about iCEV. Also, if you want a more personalized, more in-depth look at the iCEV platform, I encourage you to schedule an online training with another of our team members. And this will, they'll walk through the platform with you and really make it personalized to you and your program. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kelli, and she is going to tell us how to add value further to the certifications and how you as an educator can promote your certification earners. Kelli, you're still muted. I did it in the previous session and
thanks, we're taking turns. In this journey, now your student has earned their industry certification, right? And they might be looking at you thinking, okay, when are the employers going to flock to me and tell me that they want to hire me now that I'm qualified? I'm the daughter of a CTE teacher. I'm the sister of a CTE teacher, and I hear this story pretty regularly. I think what's difficult is that when earners are in a high school setting, we can't list minors anywhere. You know, there's not some magical database of minors who've earned industry cert so that employers can come hire them. And more important even than them earning an industry certification is for earners to understand how to market the certification, for them to understand how to list it on their resume, how to articulate what it means to an employer. So we've created this landing page as a resource for y'all as teachers, for y'all to help your students understand how to market themselves and for y'all to help market your certification earners. It's icevonline.com/hire certified, HIRE certified. So the same thing as this hashtag, feel free to bookmark it. You can use it for industry certifications that aren't even on the iCEV testing platform. We think it's pretty versatile in that way, but definitely geared toward you being able to help promote your earners to the businesses and organizations in your community who might be willing to hire them so they can see that your students are definitely qualified enough to be good workers for them, whether it is a summer job, an after-school job, or a full-time job once they graduate high school, now that they have more than a high school diploma. And I do want to throw out there too, the industry certs are great for students who are college bound. Let's say that Kimberly and I went to the same university at the same time and we got the same degree. We'd be competing for the same jobs with the same qualifications, but what would really benefit me maybe is if I had an industry certification that Kimberly didn't. That would distinguish my resume, even with a college degree, from Kimberly's. So just want to throw that out there too. I'm sure you all realize that. On the left side of this page is a video that shares the perspective from a couple of different states and their teachers and CTE leaders of how they've been able to implement industry certifications really well into their programs and how they've seen the benefit of that, not only in their students, but in their local communities as well. And then on the right side is kind of this bucket of resources. So here you have a flyer that you can completely customize and you can use as a mail out. You can use it as social media promo. You can have your CTSO officers go hand deliver it if you want. Post it on social media, whatever. You can add your school's name. You can talk about your CTE program and why you want to work with the businesses and orgs in your community. And you can list all of the certifications your CTE programs are using, iCEV or not. And we've already added the value of those certifications. So just a way to introduce to local businesses and orgs, hey, we're building qualified future employees for our community, and we want to make sure that you know that. In regards to the certifications hosted on our platform, let's say y'all and you and your community have never used any of the certifications hosted on our platform. So maybe those mom and pop businesses have never heard of them because they've never had people apply with that on their resume. So it'd be good to show them the certifications, the industry standards. So these are one-page flyers on all of the certifications hosted on our platform. So even if they've never heard of it, you can show them the flyer. You could even cover up the logo of the certifying agency and you could say, even if you've never heard of this certification, what do you think of these industry standards? And I have never heard a business say, that would be pretty useless for an entry-level employee to know those things. That would bring no value to our business. Of course, they're going to think it's helpful for someone to have knowledge and skills as an entry-level employee. Typically, what folks say to us, what businesses say to us, is they talk about how much time and money it would save them in onboarding and in training if new employees came to them with the knowledge and skills tested in an industry certification. So some one-page flyers there. This Why Hire Certified Applicants infographic is simply talking points about the value of certifications beyond the technical stuff. It talks about the initiative that individuals have to show to take a certification, the fact that they're going above and beyond, that they're showing commitment to an industry at such a young age. And these are talking points that you can use with your students before you begin the process of getting them certified. You can use these talking points with your administrator. If you're trying to help the administrator understand why you want to purchase certification vouchers, the sky is really the limit here with these talking points. You do receive a press release whenever you get those paper certificates mailed to you. We include a press release in that, but we've included it here as well. I also want to note that if you have more than 10 certification earners from your CTE program in any given year, you will also receive a wall mount, which is basically a big plaque that recognizes all of those certification earners from your CTE program that year and what certification they received, just to brag on the fact that you are helping your students be industry ready, career ready. You can put that outside your classroom door for other programs to see it too, and make it a part of an award ceremony, whatever you'd like. The more earners you have, the bigger the plaque will be, but it's a great way to recognize not only your work, but those students' work as well. And typically, students in the next year's class want their name on a plaque too. So just a good way to keep students being excited about getting certified. So I want to throw that out there. My favorite resource on this page is a lesson on how to add an industry certification to your resume. So if you happen to be getting all of your students certified on the same day, maybe you send them to a testing center and get it over with. On that next day, maybe y'all can sit down as a class and you can give them these specific examples of where to list an industry cert on their resume and how to list it. Because I think a lot of students totally skip this step or they forget that they're supposed to have a resume, whatever. So here's an example for them of how they can take I took this test and I was told it was going to be helpful to some specific language that will help them in a job interview. As you keep scrolling on this page, you'll see some stories from other programs of how they've interwoven industry certs really well and how it's really benefited those students. Just this picture alone, I think, tells a great story of the fact that this vet's office is willing to let minors come work with them because they think these minors are qualified enough. Knowing the story of this specific program, they think students who have the Elanco Vet Med certification are just as qualified as students who went to vet tech programs. And so these stories can be a great testament too of the value of those certs. As you keep scrolling, another resource, quotes from employers who've hired earners with these certifications. So let's say you're a shop teacher, you teach small engines, you had 10 students earn the Equipment and Engine Training Council certification this week, and you want to brag on them. Maybe you can use this quote in this picture on the homepage of your school website or in your CTE Twitter, to brag on those earners and to let the businesses in your community know that they have qualified potential workers in high school. The last thing on this page is some examples of how other schools are doing that well. For example, this Buna FFA chapter is showing their local businesses in their community that their students are preparing for the Elanco Vet Med certification exam by practicing giving injections to oranges and then balloons inside gloves instead of to animals, just to get ready for that certification exam. So hopefully you find this page to be helpful. If ever you have recommendations of new resources we could add, please let Kimberly or me know. We do try to add new stuff at the end of semesters when we think you might particularly be trying to promote your certification earners. But again, we want to make your job as easy as possible.